If you're looking for something that looks like a true sports bike, yet feels at home in the city streets just like a commuter would, then look no further than the TVS Apache RR 310. My name is Akash and you're watching the Motown India show, and today in this video I will be telling you why perhaps this is the best 300cc bike in town. I'm pretty sure that no one can deny that the RR 310 looks like a piece of art that probably belongs in the pit lanes of a racetrack like the MMRT. It's got a bulky fairing but a sleek rear end gilded with a futuristic looking tail lamp. The LED projector lamps up front look really good. They throw a white beam of light on the road ahead, and the circular design almost reminds me of Bumblebee from Transformers, so that's a plus obviously. Maybe if I get it in yellow, it'll complete the look. The snake fang-like design of the tail lamps looks intimidating yet charming at the same time.
I should like to help everyone.
The vertical digital meter console might not look too great, but it packs in a lot of functions and displays things like speed, RPM, fuel level, current gear, distance covered, engine temperature, trip meter, and range. You can also record your top speed and 0 to 60 timing. The hazard light switch can also be found on the left of the meter console and not on the handlebar. There is a gear shift indicator and a side stand indicator as well.
Now let's talk about how the RR 310 rides. This 312cc single-cylinder engine has a very linear acceleration, which some might like while some might be disappointed. But let me tell you why it's good. Because when you are riding in the city and you have a motorcycle that's eager to jump at every moment, then you do get tired after a little while. But if you have something like this, you won't get tired easily. Aiding that fact is the torque available in the low and mid range. I was easily able to cruise around city in the third and the fourth gear, and I did not have to change gears, and that again is always a plus when you are riding. And when you do get an open stretch of tarmac, then you can make use of the full 34 horsepower and 27 Newton meters of torque and progress confidently to triple-digit speeds. The first concern that crops up in your mind when you ride a big bike in the city is the engine heat, especially during summers. But that's not a problem with the RR 310, as this 312cc liquid-cooled engine does a great job of dissipating heat, and the heat is kept away from the rider's legs largely, and it is flown in such a way that it does not bother you too much. Now let's talk about mileage. The best figure I was able to get out of this bike was 33 kilometers per liter, which is pretty good. And since this has a 11-liter fuel tank, you can get close to 300 kilometers of range after filling it to the brim. Then there is this large cowl up ahead which diverts a lot of the oncoming force, and you can easily tuck in a nice position and avoid a lot of the wind blasts. As expected, you do get ABS on the RR 310, and you really appreciate it during the rainy season. Now, I have been riding this bike for the past 3 days, and it has also been raining for the past 3 days, and I really had no problem riding this bike through wet tarmac, and there was not even a single incident where I felt like I was going to slip and fall during a panic braking situation, even while it rained heavily, as you can see from the footage. The inverted forks at the front and monoshock at the back are tuned by KYB, so they are great for a ferocious riding experience. Another mention must be made for the wide tires that provide a lot of grip. The front had a 110 by 70 while the rear had a 150 by 60. These both were 17-inch tubeless Michelin tires. On the practicality side, again, I'm thankful that TVS Apache RR 310 comes with its side stand extension behind the foot peg, just like how I prefer it to be. You can easily pull it out and perch it on the side. And while we're talking about the underbelly, let me also tell you that this comes with a sort of a belly pan. This is not metallic, but it's hard plastic, but it's good that TVS is providing at least some sort of protection against those big breakers or rocks that you might encounter. But just like life, the RR310 also is not just a bed of roses. There is room for improvement. For example, this one also is plagued by a slightly vibey engine. You do feel the vibes post 6000 RPM, but in its defense, once you do cross 70 to 80 kilometers an hour, the vibrations aren't that bad and your mind is already on the road, so you do not mind them that much. And it's only the second gear that has vibrations almost throughout. Now, since this is a sporty bike, you do expect it to not be the best when it comes to pillion comfort, and right now I'm just nitpicking, but still, if you have someone seated here, first of all, you're not going to have a lot of space, and second, the person will definitely fall on you. I admit that I just said that I like the linear response of the RR310, but I still do wish that it had just a slightly more exciting response when you pull the accelerator. As mentioned earlier, the suspension setup is stiff and you get a sporty performance, and the trade-off obviously is that you do not get the best comfort when it comes to tackling potholes and speed breakers, especially the steep speed breakers and deep potholes. But the smaller ones, it does manage to gobble fairly well. And that brings us to the end of our review of the Apache RR310, and it's time for a verdict. So what do I think? Well, does it perform like a track machine? Well, it falls short slightly, but it definitely performs how a 300cc bike should, and it's quite practical as well. Surprisingly, despite its gorgeous sports bike look, it is quite practical to use in the city. The heat dissipation is a big plus for this bike, and some of the shortcomings that it has can be easily overlooked, and there really isn't any big flaw that would make you want to skip this bike. TVS has increased the price of the RR310 slightly because the initial price of 1.98 lakh ex-showroom Delhi was actually an introductory price. So now it's going to cost you a little above 2 lakh rupees, and I think that's not too bad of a deal for what you're getting. I would summarize this bike as something that looks like a track machine yet has the mind and body and the practicality of a normal everyday motorcycle. And now it's time for that part of the video where I tell you to like this video if you liked it, comment if you have any questions, and share this video with your friends and family if you think it's worth it, and subscribe to our channel as well. And we have a lot of social media accounts like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those good places. You can follow us all there and get updated on whatever we post and whenever we post it. So until the next time, ride safe and drive safe. This is me, Akash, signing off for now. Bye-bye.